What's up, everybody? We're S.A.D After Dark out of Brooklyn, New York. I'm Dan Berg.
I'm Sifa Graffiti.
If you don't know, all of our reactions are chosen by our patrons over on our Patreon, so go check it out. You can support us and get involved in our content decisions for as little as $1 a month. This song, The Bottle by GIL SCOTT-HERON, was suggested by our patron Poppie. We're excited to check it out. Definitely thumbs up if you enjoy it.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. You see that black boy over there running scared? His old man in a bottle. He done quit his 9 to 5. He drink full time. Now he's living in a bottle. See that black boy over there running scared? His old man got a problem, and it's a bad one. He ain't done pawned off damn near everything. His old woman away to beg for a bottle. And don't you think it's a crime when time after time after time people in a bottle? There's people living in the bottle. Listen to me. See that sister, she was fine. She's finally drinking wine in the bottle. She told me, oh man committed a crime. He's doing time. Now she's hanging in a bottle. I seen her out there on the avenue all by herself. She sure need help from the bottle. I seen her, the man tried to help her. She cussed him out and hit him in the head with the bottle. They turned to me, they asked me, kill her. Don't you think it's a crime? No way. And time after time after time, people in the bottle. There's people showing up in the bottle. Give you another good example. You see that jet in a Rico suit, that damn near blown his cool to the bottom. He was a doctor helping young girls along. If they wasn't too far gonna have problems. But the offenders of the Dollar Eagle said, what you doing, man, illegal. Now he's in the bottle. And now we watch him every day. He's trying to chase the prisons away from the bottle. He turned to me, he said, man, now, don't you think it's a crime? The way time after time, friends of mine in the bottle. There's people showing up in the bottle. Come on, hit it a lick one time, stick. If you ever come looking for me, you know where I'm bound to be in the bottle. Turn around, look around on any corner. If you see some brother looking like a goner, it's gonna be me. Sing the song. Na 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 na. Every now and now, every now and now, na 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 na. Get a bottle of wine, $1.09, get a bottle of wine, $1.09, get a bottle of wine in the bottle. Yeah, all that I'm concerned about is a bottle. It can turn me inside out of a bottle. All I want is all I want is all I want is all I want since I'm living on the bottom bottle.
Talking about a bottle of water?
Would you like? Or juice.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
But actually, clearly a song about alcoholism.
Yes, definitely sung about alcoholism. The only thing about like me and the video and the song is just like, everything in the video, it has nothing to do with alcoholism. A lot of it is just, American black culture uptown in Harlem on the east and the west side. Shout out to Harlem because, there's so much about the culture that is great, in contrast to, some drug addiction and alcohol abuse that does like plague a lot of people, even the musicians, as well. You know what I'm saying? So that is a definite unfortunate thing about it. But musically, I love Gil Scott-Heron. Shout out to still having crooked teeth and being a good-looking man. You know what I'm saying? But how many instruments it took to have such a light groove is crazy.
Did you see how many people were on stage?
You know what I'm saying? And the music sound effortless.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really interesting. That's true because they had the congas, they had the flute, they had all the typical instruments that you would typically have. And then, speaking of instruments, what do you think I'm going to shout out?
The bass.
The bass!
Kicking ass.
The bass set the whole tone for me. I guess it typically does. But I get the bass and the flute together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For me is really what set the tone.
Yeah. Yes. And of course I'm going to really love that because the bass is so low and the flute is so high.
Right.
So that's beautiful.
Well, that actually is like something, remember in the Blackbird song,
Uh-huh.
I was saying how the difference between the high synth and the low bass, all that space in the middle is what kind of brings you in. And I feel like this is kind of a similar thing.
Yeah. They ran parallel and they really set the groove, it's true.
But it just, specifically for this song, it just paints an introspective kind of mood. This is a song that you're gonna, it's really interesting because the beat of it, you could just move.
Yeah.
But if you sit down and listen to it, this is a thinking song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And maybe that's why the video is like that, the way it is. Because when you look at the video, there's so much contrast. And it ends right here. Look at this pretty little girl, right? She's got her bright, cute dress on. She's leaned up against the garbage can. You know what I'm saying? And this is just this doesn't necessarily have to be poverty. You can find this anywhere in New York City, the contrast of the beauty against, the ugliness of this city. You know what I mean? You can have an $8 million home and there's still trash on the street right in front of you. There's a homeless guy in the corner scratching his butt or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's always something like that. So I think the whole video did the same thing. It did a bass and a flute thing where you're ooh, Stevie Wonder's gonna perform at the Apollo. You saw
James Brown is there.
Yeah, but
that's
then
a
you
good
also
point.
saw,
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, just very, very. I don't even know what the word. It really just pulls you into it.
Yeah.
It makes you just want to live in the world.
Encompassing.
Yeah. So that was awesome. So shout out to Poppy for suggesting this. That was The Bottle by Gil Scott-Heron. Shout out to all of our patrons over on Patreon. Y'all are helping to make all of this possible. We couldn't do it without you. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. We're Side After Dark. Listen to our music if you haven't already. We'll see you soon.